A mysterious disease, a world in panic, and whispers of a theory that sent shockwaves across a generation. AIDS, an epidemic that ravaged lives. But was there an unseen hand guiding its deadly path? The AIDS U.S. lab theory. A chilling claim that HIV was a creation within the secretive walls of a U.S. government laboratory. Was it a targeted plot? A bioweapon mishap? Or a tale spun from fear and confusion? Born from the chaos of the Cold War, racial unrest, and distrust in government, the theory found its place, casting doubt, sowing division, and leaving a legacy that still echoes today. What were the real origins of HIV? How did a claim become a conspiracy that influenced public opinion and shaped efforts to combat the disease?
Plague! 40 million infected people is a f***ing plague! And nobody acts as if it is.
What if the answers to this medical enigma led us down paths we never expected? Could there be truth hiding in the fear? Or are we facing a complex weave of human emotions, politics, and a desire to explain the unexplainable? The 1980s. A decade marked by vibrant culture, societal progress, and a silent, deadly specter. AIDS. A disease that indiscriminately ravaged communities, defied understanding, and evaded cure. Within the span of a few years, what began as a series of isolated cases exploded into a global pandemic. Millions were infected. Countless lives were lost. Panic, confusion, and misinformation pervaded societies worldwide. Amidst the backdrop of global despair, as the world sought answers, a chilling theory was born. The AIDS U.S. lab theory emerged, suggesting that HIV was intentionally crafted within a U.S. government laboratory, either as a means of population control or a BioWare experiment gone awry. Was the virus a malevolent invention by the CIA? A weapon to eradicate or control specific communities? The theory was detailed and terrifying. Jakob Siegel, a Russian-born German biology professor, became a torchbearer for this belief. He argued that the virus was a biological agent, intentionally engineered and unleashed. The conspiracy went further, suggesting that the virus was part of a scheme to suppress or eliminate marginalized communities. It was seen as a method to target racial minorities, particularly people of African descent, and members of the LGBTQ+ community. Alternate versions of the theory surfaced, some claiming that the virus was a failed bioweapon experiment, others that it was part of a racial and cultural cleansing agenda. Over the years, the theory gained traction and even found believers among high-profile individuals. South African President Thabo Mbeki and Kenyan ecologist Wangari Maathai were among those who lent credence to the idea.
Does HIV cause AIDS? Does one virus cause a syndrome? A virus cannot cause a syndrome.
The theory tapped into the broader tensions of the time, mixing the Cold War fears, racial prejudices, and deep-rooted mistrust in government. It created a storm of speculation and panic, further fueling the crisis. But as sensational as the claims were, could they hold up against rigorous scientific investigation? Was the AIDS US lab theory a dark truth or a fabrication that played into our deepest fears? And what were the ramifications of this widespread belief? The AIDS US lab theory was not just a fleeting myth. It gave rise to far-reaching consequences that transcended mere speculation. Stigmatization and discrimination became the painful echoes of a theory grounded in prejudice. Marginalized communities found themselves at the epicenter of blame, fueling harmful stereotypes and widening social divides. Public health efforts were undermined. The spread of conspiracy theories eroded trust in scientific evidence, hindering prevention strategies and delaying access to life-saving treatments. A distraction from real solutions was another fallout. Instead of addressing systematic issues like inadequate healthcare infrastructure and social inequalities, the focus shifted to blame shifting and sensational claims.
AIDS have all been about the arrival of the virus and the way the virus impacted the community and the devastation, really.
When he disclosed that he was dying of AIDS in the fall of 1985, and the country was in a complete panic at that point. Parents were pulling their children out of school. There was a lot of fear. There were no drugs.
The traction gained by the theory, even among high-profile figures, showcased the power of misinformation and its ability to shape opinions, policies, and discourse. The persistent misinformation continued to challenge efforts to combat HIV/AIDS, creating a complex web of belief, doubt, and uncertainty. The shadow of the AIDS US lab theory extends far beyond mere curiosity, leaving a mark on society's approach to a global epidemic. But could science shed light on these dark claims? In a world gripped by fear and misinformation, the scientific community faced the daunting task of separating fact from fiction. What was the real origin of HIV? And could it have been man-made? Extensive scientific research began to uncover the truth. Organizations like the World Health Organization and the Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS took up the charge, digging into the claims and the evidence. Meticulous investigation demonstrated that the structure and behavior of HIV were consistent with a naturally occurring virus. The conspiracy theories lacked scientific support, often built on misinterpretation or false information. The voices of reason and evidence began to rise, challenging the sensational claims and providing answers grounded in solid research. Even the assertions of advocates like Jacob Segal were meticulously examined and debunked. The credibility of the theory waned as the scientific facts took center stage. But the story didn't end there. While the scientific community had spoken, the echoes of the conspiracy continued to reverberate. What imprints has this lingering doubt left on our society today?
Shut up, nitwit. Hey, don't insult me. Don't insult me or I'll really let you have it.
Hey, you've been an insult from the moment you were born. What do you think?
Wait a minute. Wait, I'll just tell you, Wally, when you...
Time moves on, but the echoes of the past reverberate. The AIDS US lab theory, once a relic of the 1980s, still finds a voice in today's world, breeding persistent misinformation. Fringe groups continue to propagate the theory, igniting debates and fostering mistrust. A single conspiracy from decades ago contributes to an ongoing crisis of confidence in our health systems. Mistrust in public health institutions, a fire of skepticism once ignited, spreads and undermines genuine efforts to protect and heal. Reinforcement of skepticism. The tale of the AIDS US lab theory reveals how doubt can become a culture, affecting our response to crises, education, and growth. The story serves as a reminder of the power of narrative, the responsibility of understanding, and the ongoing struggle to balance curiosity with reason.